Mr. Shotsky, what the hell was that? That wasn't even me. That was some weird Swedish guy saying he's tapping phones. Who was that even? Mr. Shotsky, what? I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, we didn't actually have any more of you.
Exactly, Mr. Shotsky. That's because there's no evidence I ever did anything wrong. There's nothing to prove I ordered phone taps. Nothing to prove I knew anything about phone taps. And nothing to prove that I ever tapped any communications device of any person currently living.
Okay, let's talk the Fox network. Your network.
Yes, Mr. Shotsky, that is one of my greatest accomplishments. I started the Fox network in 1986 with just a few stations I bought out. I used those stations to carry the Fox network, and we made many successful and hugely popular shows.
Yeah, you mean you made raunchy and sex-crazed show that angered a lot of people.
Mr. Shotsky, we made entertaining and vastly valuable shows that became part of the American culture and life. We never made anything raunchy or inappropriate. We made hard-hitting modern shows that captured the American spirit and the way of life of the American people.
Let's look at some of Fox's earliest shows. We had Married with Children, which was described as raunchy, sexist, and filth, and The Tracy Ullman Show, which was also described as pretty much filth.
Our first two shows, Mr. Shotsky, were hip, and now they weren't meant for some old lady with doilies on her table, sipping tea and watching television to see what antiques she could collect. They were meant for the young, hip crowd, people who were skateboarding and playing with their Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Then in 1989, you added your biggest show, The Simpsons, which was described as dirty and disgusting.
As I said before, Mr. Shotsky, the Fox network was for a younger crowd, not the older people of my generation, such as the people watching Katy Perry and drinking... What is a hip drink young people drink nowadays? Oh yes, Ensure. The young people drinking the Ensure. It was for those people, those young, hip, popular people.
Now, let's say it was for the young and hip crowd. Why is it still dirty and disgusting now?
Mr. Shotsky, we are still aiming at a young and hip crowd, even to this day. Very few programs can match what we have in the 18 to 24 market. Nor can they match our powerhouse shows. Mr. Shotsky, we are here to stay and are one of the top networks on television.
Yeah, you do know as long as you're not the absolute bottom network, you can claim to be one of the top networks.
Now, Mr. Shotsky, you are twisting my words again. You know what I meant. Fox regularly outperforms other networks. In the 2007 to 2008 season, Fox became the top network in America.
Well, you're right. The Fox network does not match the filth that is Fox News.
Mr. Shotsky, the Fox News Network is a fair and balanced news organization, even as if that balance is slightly to the right. When that network was created, it was created to take the liberal bias out of media and replace it with a more conservative bias that the American people can get behind. It was meant to give the conservatives something to watch.
So, the Fox network is for the young and the hip, typically liberals, while Fox News Network is for the conservatives who are typically old and stodgy, and possibly the Emperor from Star Wars.
Now, Mr. Shotsky, we do not like to think of certain age groups as being either more liberal or more conservative. The Fox network does lean a little more to the liberal side of the spectrum than the Fox News network does. But really, do you expect those rednecks in Kentucky to want to watch something that's conservative and not right-wing, that doesn't share their belief in guns, God, and killing anyone who doesn't agree with them? Of course not. If that was the case and they were as open-minded as us British people, then we wouldn't have a need for the Fox News network. We could just move Virgin Media over to the United States. But even the name Virgin Media in the US gets such a negative reaction, like your country has something against virgins or something.
So you've got two networks that play to both political ends of the spectrum.
Yes, you could say that. It is a fair assessment of the situation.
Okay, one question. How do you do it? How do you manage to play to both demographics at the same time?
Well, it is simple. We know these people want this, and we give it to them. These people want that, and we give that to them as well. We give the people what they want, and that is why they watch us, Mr. Schultz.
But the people wanted to see you hit with the cream pie at your press conference, and you didn't let them see that.
The people did not want that. Although some strange activist or comedic person may have wanted that. The people that I bring, they did not want that. If they wanted it, they would have seen it. But they did not want to see any harm come to the great Sir Rupert Murdoch the Great.
Well, you fled like a little girl. You were like, oh my God, a cream pie. And you lifted up your dress and like skirted around. Oh my God, it might stain my tie. Oh my God, I better run.
Mr. Shotsky, I can see that this interview is over, so I am leaving. Don't forget to tune into the new season of Simpsons premiering on Fox this fall, or tune into the great news commentator Mr. Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly on Fox News. Thank you, Mr. Shotsky, and good day.
But wait, there might be cream pie gangs roaming the streets. Well, this has been Famous Interviews with Famous People. See you next time.